Welcome back. Before the ad break, we spoke of the different types of errors that can lead to the differences. Now we want to see it practically. Make sure you have a pen, paper to write on, as well as a calculator. Here is our creditors control account. Remember, on the credit side, it will increase, but on the debit side, it will decrease. And then we are going to have some errors, and here are the errors that we have. We are going to start correcting these errors. Some of the errors will relate to the creditors list. So you must be able now to see which error must be corrected in the creditors control. And errors that are not supposed to be in the creditors control, we will then take them to the list. There are errors that will also go into both the control as well as the list. Let us begin. A, the total of the creditors journal was understated by 2,000. It simply means when we look at our creditors journal, this is where we record all our credit purchases. Therefore, I'm coming to my purchases here. If it is understated, that means we recorded less. To correct that, you go and you add. I'll come to my credit purchases. I'll say plus 2,000. I have corrected that. Will this be corrected in the list? No, because it is the total that was understated. It is not relating with any individual creditor. B, due to a calculation error, the balance of Becker's Limited creditors ledger account was reflected as 13,505 instead of 23,505. So you see here, it has to do with an individual creditor and not any particular total. So this will not be corrected in the creditors control, but we will take it to the creditors list. C, an invoice for goods bought from Sons Warehouse, 895, was recorded in the creditors journal as 985 and posted as such. So if an invoice was recorded incorrectly, it says 895 was recorded as 985. So if I say 985 minus 895, the difference is 90. What it means is that the invoice amount has been overstated. We have recorded more. Therefore, we need to correct that. And in correcting that, we are coming to where we record our purchases. Here is our credit purchases. I'll come and say minus 90. Minus 90. I have to remember to come and do the correction when I get to the creditors list under Sons Warehouse. Let's go to D. A debit note of 960 was issued to Sons Warehouse for goods returned to them. They did accept the returns, but no entry has been made in the books of Bushlet Traders for this transaction. So there are returns of 960, however, no entry has been made. That means it must be recorded then in both, because no entry has been made. It must be recorded in the creditors control as well as in the list. So in the creditors control, we are coming, when goods have been returned, I come now to my total returns and allowances. I'm going to increase that amount by 960. Remember to remind me when I do the creditors list that I must also record in the creditors list. Let us look at more errors and omissions. E, an invoice for 1,460 received from Brown Stores and correctly recorded in the journals, so it was correct in the journals, was incorrectly posted to the creditors ledger of Lamb Suppliers. So this is a matter of names now, not to do with any total or any omission. It is an invoice received from Brown, but it was recorded in the creditors ledger of Lamb Suppliers. So we'll correct this when we get to the creditors ledger. F, the creditors control column in the cash payments journal included an amount of 2,120 paid to ZZ distributors for cash purchases. The moment we record cash purchases, therefore it becomes wrong because the creditors control account has to do with credit purchases. You are very correct. So we record credit purchases, but in this case, we recorded cash purchases. Therefore, we need to correct that. An amount in the CPJ for cash purchases must not be recorded in my creditors control. Where do I go then? I go to my bank and discount. There is an amount that has been included in there, 2,120. I need to take it out, minus 2,120. Let's quickly go to the next one then. It says, merchandise of 1,285 was returned to Best Bakery and correctly entered in the creditors allowances journal. However, it was posted to Best Bakery account in the creditors ledger as a purchase. So this is an error that happened in the creditors ledger. We therefore correct it when we do the list. This is how our creditors control will then look. Here is that error that we corrected, and we also did that. So on our general debits, there was nothing, hence we will have the 2,250 still. And on our credit purchases, you remember the 2,000 and the 90, hence we end up with 74,390. General credits, there was no change. And then we total it up with 124,575, and we have the same amount here, 124,575. And then we now have our balance carried down, 57,065. The 57,065 will come to the credit side because it is a liability. We will go for an ad break. See you shortly.